Hello and welcome back to the Xpert Eleven Road to Glory series, where in the last episode we took a look at our opponents for the new Division 5 season, as we were back in Division 5 after a 2-season absence. And in this episode we'll be kicking off the new season at home to the King Punks. It has been 3 seasons since we last played the King Punks, when they were also in Division 5. They got promoted that season as champions, but fell down from Division 4 the next season. They had a few team changes, a notable number of youths have progressed, with Tony Raylos and Gary Amwill on the fringes now as reserve team players, and Peter Falconer now a 12-bar player. Midfielder Terry Simmons is the latest addition to their team, but apart from that it's mostly the same squad that they had 3 seasons ago, with the exception of the fact that they don't have João Caro anymore. Only 11 of our 17-man squad are from the last time we played the King Punks. That's Dihor, Connolly, Santa Maria, Van der Kruis, Qamara, Kvyatkovsky, Roma, Hargreaves, Hesslink, Tataw Eta and Mota. Next to give a debut to Wade Jr., Azrat Zairi and Erfan Ghazali, although it's likely that Wade Jr. will be the only debut man as one of the stronger players in the team. Pierre Of Hesslink, contrary to what the picture suggests, isn't actually injured. This was taken quite a while ago before the first game, and he recovered in time to play the King Punks in the first league game of the season. This will be the 5th time that Knights of Cydonia and the King Punks have played each other, and on every occasion the King Punks have won every game. In fact, we have never managed to score a goal against the King Punks, with their goalkeeper Charlie Sanders proving impossible for us to beat. So this is going to be a very difficult game. As you can see here, most of the goals came from the likes of Ronaldo Ribao, but they've had other scorers like Anto Franca. On occasions we've had some awful luck against them. In the 3rd game between the two clubs, we had an injury to Joshua Delia, who got injured when we were on top against them, finally getting the better of them. And then we also saw Aquilus Santa Maria sent off later on. But last season we never beaten Belfast City or Roma Returner, yet we managed to do so for the first time. So there's always a first time to beat an opponent, and the King Punks are the nearest player in the game, the closest location wise. So we are most likely going to be facing up against them every season that we're drawn in the same division. Therefore, it is paramount that at some point in our lifespan we manage to beat the King Punks. Let's hope it'll be today. Right then, let's take a look at the team news. Knights line up in a 4-5-1 formation with Ant Connolly in goal, a back four Pim Van der Kruis, Ledley King, Aquilus Santa Maria and Pedro Miramontes, a midfielder Ray Tataw Eta, Sergei Kvyatkovsky, Alvito Roma, Wade Jr. and Raymond Hargreaves, with Celso Mota as the low man up front. Wade Jr. is making his debut for Knights of Cydonia. King Punks line up in a 4-4-2 formation with Charlie Sanders in goal, a back four Maurice Layton, Peter Falconer, Elliot Nielsen and Gary Amwill, a midfielder Blake Jack, Blake Knott, Errol Snowden and Christopher Davidson, and a front two of Matsio Guerra and Robert O'Leary. Interesting to see that the King Punks having to play youths like Gary Amwill and Errol Snowden to lower their average age, as it was getting a bit old. Let's go live to the supermassive black hole for the first league game of the season. Captains for this match are Ledley King for Knights of Cydonia and for Amancio Guerra for the King Punks, as he has always been. Referee for this match is Justin Time, Skill 5, Archer 7. Knights are in the red strip and playing from left to right. King Punks are in the black strip, which this season has a red trim, and are playing from right to left. The other games of the division will see Deep take on Gorgie Thistle, Sham against P4AHFC and Real Madrid are playing against Blue Force. Knights have won the toss, and so it will be Celso Mota and Alvito Roma will kick the game off. And the game is underway, and Knights have the early possession here, probing, seeing if they can find a way past this King Punk side. But we have a chance here. Well played by Sergei Kvyatkovsky, and he scores! Sergei Kvyatkovsky, who wasn't even going to be in the lineup until about 2 hours before the match began, has given Knights the lead. It's a great start. It's our first ever goal against the King Punks, as Sham have taken the lead against P4AHFC. 27 minutes played. Now the King Punks, they beat up and down. We're going to have a chance here. Well played shot on goal by Raymond Hargreaves, and it's easy handled by Charlie Sanders. King Punks beat up and down the divisions a bit. They've averaged Division 5. They have won division medals 5 times in their history, and they've been in Division 4 twice but got relegated both times. With their 6 promotions, 5 have been division titles. And that is the end of the first half. At the end of the first half, Knights have had 2 chances compared to the King Punks 0. so we've also one goal ahead and had more possession. In the other match of the division, Gorgi Thistle head against Deep, but only just. Sham are winning against P4AHFC as the second half gets underway. And it's just 51 minutes played, and there's a powerful shot by Wee Junior from a distance, and no problems for Charlie Sanders. Wee Junior looking for his first goal for the club on his debut. 54 minutes played, diving header by Pim van der Kruis, wide by a clear margin. We are starting to ramp it up a bit against this King Punk side, who've been far from what they've done before against us. They cut on goal by Ray Tataw Eta. He scores! Ray Tataw Eta makes it 2-0 to Knights of Cydonia. And this is a complete reversal of all the previous games between Knights and the King Punks, where the King Punks have dominated and prevented us from having a single shot on goal and winning the game. Zelski Pavic is on for Eric Olstone, and they bring us some reinforcements to try and strengthen their hand here. The chip on goal by Regina and tapped over by Charlie Sanders. If it weren't for Sanders, it could have probably been worse for the King Punks. Gorgi Thistle seem to be having a bit of problems against Deep, as Sham scored I think Sham scored another against P4HFC as Pierre Of Hesslink comes on for Sergei Kvyatkovsky as Pierre leads the game time. The goal hits out from Raymond Hargreaves, and it hits the frame of the goal. No other goals to report in the other games in the divisions, but we've got another chance though. This hit on shot goal by Pierre Of Hesslink, and it smashes into the post. Pierre Of Hesslink came on as a substitute and could have made an impact there. We've got a card for Knights. Wee Junior has been yellow carded for time wasting. 89 minutes played. Azrat Zairi is going to come on for Alvito Roma to make his debut as we look to try and get him his heart and some game time in the process. And that is the end of the game and the end of the match. Knights of Cydonia managed to win 2-0 against the King Punks. This is the first time we've ever beaten them, so that's a feather in our cap, I guess. So a good solid victory where Knights have got their season off to a good start, and they've got second in the table with Sham taking top spots after a very one-sided game against P4AHFC. Ledley King was the man of the match for Knights of Cydonia, and Elliot Nielsen was the man of the match for the King Punks. Who knows what lies in store for us this season? I sure don't, to be honest. That was Knights' first ever win over the King Punks, and it means that we have now won our last 16 league matches and are unbeaten in 21 games. If we keep the unbeaten run going, we might be at a shot of a second successful promotion, but with Miramontes retiring, will we be able to cope with him retiring? Of course, we can't think about the unbeaten run yet, especially since our next two opponents, P4AH and Sham, are two of the strongest teams in the division, and we're in for a tough ride against them. Especially since Sham had such an impressive performance and at this stage looked like the favourites to get promoted, although Gorgi Thistle should never be ruled out. Team of the week this week, and I apologise if I get any of these names wrong as I'm still learning the players' names, is Cornelius Hulch of Sham in goal. A back four, Pedro Miramontes, Knights of Cydonia, Ledley King, Knights of Cydonia, Pim van der Kruis, Knights of Cydonia, and Juliano Amparo of Sham. Midfielder Quellentaro Candal, Gorgi Thistle, Raymond Hargreaves, Knights of Cydonia's first ever X11 appearance, Fabio Mirko, Sham, and Julian Minto, Sham, and a front two are Matsio Guerra, the King Punks, and Jonathan Sidwell, Sham. Paul Weller of Gorgi Thistle was the manager of the round after his side's early victory over Deep, which is interesting because I think Deep are one of the weaker sides in the division, although they have strengthened a lot recently through some big money purchases, so that may be why. Then again, we'll see how the season pans out. Let's take a look at the standings after round 1, although they don't necessarily mean that much. Nevertheless, Sham are the early leaders after getting 3 points against P4AHFC with a 4-0 victory, which is quite surprisingly one-sided. Knights of Cydonia managed to win 2-0 against the King Punks, so we are currently second in the league, and Gorgi Thistle won 2-1 away to Deep. Real El Madrid and Blue Force involved in a 0-0 draw between two teams who I predict will probably be fighting to stay up in Division 5. So, a great start to life in Division 5 with a victory over the King Punks. And that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll be playing away to P4AHFC, who are currently bottom of the league, but I reckon that's a bit of a false position given the strength of their squad. They'll be in for a difficult game. Hopefully we can get some points from that, because if we can get more points, we can actually try and go for a second automatic promotion, or even a promotion through the playoffs. We need to start pushing up the divisions, but consolidation in Division 5 wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. That'll be all. Goodbye.